who is Gilgamesh and its relation with Israel and everything that is happening right now with all the potential wars and maybe World War III. Now, Gilgamesh comes from the Epic of Gilgamesh, extracted from the Sumerian tablet. Now, the thing is that I'm gonna just connect a quick dot here so that I can unfold what is coming. So, Gilgamesh, it is also related to Iraq. Israel and the United States, they invaded Iraq. And the real reason, apparently, is that they were looking for the tomb of Gilgamesh. And also other Sumerian tablets related to the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, who is Gilgamesh? Why everything is shifting and changing so much right now and is accelerating so much, and why it is related to our superhuman powers, the potential of us becoming superhuman beings. Now, I'm going to extract from my own book, The Law of Becoming, part of the Epic of Gilgamesh and Gilgamesh. Now, I wrote this book in 2020, right after having a near-death experience awake, where my heart stopped completely and I left my body and I experienced heaven. I didn't believe in any of this before. I became heaven because when you are in heaven, you are not in a place, you become it. Now, I came back to my body, back to the same life, even though lives are not like a close separated life from each other, but that's for another video. So I came back to this life awareness and I wrote The Law of Becoming book. It's a book of around 1,500 pages. It is not released yet, but I am witnessing this book as a book of predictions because almost everything that I wrote there, it is happening. Like, not almost everything, like many things are happening, and almost everything I know that it will happen too, and maybe even the 100% of it. So now, who is Gilgamesh and its relation with all this mess and the evil Israel and the evil Judaism? Like, it is really, again, information for 1,500 pages. So this video will not be that long, but I will give the introduction of Gilgamesh and its relation with Israel, evil Israel, and the potential for nuclear bombs, for World War III, and so on. So now, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Nimrod's many names. Now, Nimrod and Gilgamesh is probably the same person, the same being. I say, as I mentioned earlier, Nimrod is an expression to describe him physically as a giant. And now I will share his most probable recent name found in your history by the time that I'm writing this. Gilgamesh, or actually Bilgamesh. Now, Gilgamesh or Bilgamesh or Nimrod was a Sumerian and later Mesopotamian king, a legendary hero known as the most popular hero in world history by the time that I am writing this, and also known for the king who wished to become immortal. Now, this is huge. Hold this thought. He was superhuman, very powerful, and he was also gifted with the ability to lead others. In some early Sumerian texts, Gilgamesh's name appears as a slightly different form as Bilgamesh. He's also known by earlier attempts to render his name in English as Istubar. Now, there is a good chance that Nimrod was the protagonist of the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh, and I don't think it's a coincidence neither, the Epic Fury and the Epic of Gilgamesh, Now, why you will call your war epic? Like epic, like the meaning of epic is a long story. And I believe that they are trying to conclude Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and unify it with the Epic Fury. Anyways, now the Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the earliest known works. I'm going to start again. The Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the earliest known works of literature in your Earth time history by the time that I'm writing this. And it's an ancient Mesopotamian poem recounting the adventures of Gilgamesh composed in Akkadian cuneiform script. By its literary origins lie in Sumerian poems or even greater antiquity. Same with the belief of when it was composed, 2100 and 2000 BCE, but is far more older. The tablets contain his journey and relationship with his friend Enkidu, his seeking for immortality, and his transformation from a white, ignorant, dangerous, and cruel man to a king priest. One part of the epic involves the Great Flood story with Noah's Ark. Now, in his quest for immortality, he visits Utnapishtim, the man who was entrusted to save humankind during the flood and who became immortal. Utnapishtim is Noah. Now, let's begin unifying this point. I'm going to just give you information that it is like right after this. And you know what? I'm just going to type it. Ninursag. Ninursag is super key. Here say, Gilgamesh then could have had two mothers, Ninursag and his mother and his human mothers, Enki's wife, or many other combinations. Now, let's just recap here. Okay. Let's just read this, and then I'm going to just go back into who can be Gilgamesh's mother, because it's so important. So important. It's connected with this. They make humans in a lab. They made humans in the Garden of Eden, which was Uruk, Iraq. Okay, so now who? The galactic beings that tweaked humankind from to create the Homo sapiens sapiens. Now, here it reads, let one god be slaughtered and the gods be thereby cleansed. This is from the Epic of Gilgamesh, okay? With his flesh and his blood, let the lady of the gods mix some clay, so that God and man are mixed together in the clay. In future time, let us hear the drumming of the heartbeat from the flesh of a god. Let the spirit be produced. I'm going to read this again. In future time, let us hear the drumming of the heartbeat from the flesh of a god. Let the spirit be produced. This is again to make a point in the fact that they indeed had the capability to create humans. Here, the lady of the gods creates mankind, which was brought to life to host consciousness by mixing it with the genetic expressions of a god Anunnaki. They are creating vessel bodies to host the spirit consciousness mixed with their physicality and ability, and consciousness awareness ability. Now, let me plug my computer because I forgot to plug it and I'm running low in battery. Okay. What is it? Okay. Oh no, it is plugged. So why? Oh no. Okay. No, it was plugged. It was another banner that I just mistaked for this. Okay. So now let's put it together with, let's put it together with this. Gilgamesh was made semi-divine. Now, let's read this from the Epic of Gilgamesh too. I quote, "Who is there can rival his kindly standing and say like Gilgamesh, it is I am the king." Gilgamesh was his name from the day he was born, 2/3 of him God and 1/3 human. This is the text that says what I previously shared about Nimrod being 2/3 God, Anunnaki, and 1/3 human. Now, it was a lady of the gods through the form of his figure, while his build was perfected by divine Nudimud. When he grew tall, his beauty was consummate by early standards, the most handsome. Now, it resonates with me, I say here, that the gods, Ninursa and Enki, galactic beings, sister and brother, also probably like together in a relationship, have been practicing creating the ultimate human to become king. And one of the versions back then was Gilgamesh, Nimrod, a leader, a spiritual leader. They were creating a spiritual leader. But first, this leader was a kind of like a clumsy, like bad, evil, like warrior, and he became something else in a point, and he became this king priest. Now, let's put it together with what is happening with evil Israel, with them looking to find the tomb of Gilgamesh in Iraq, back then Uruk. And actually they asked Hillary Clinton, I have a video about that. They asked her just some days ago. She had this super important hearing, like it was a hearing, I don't know if that name is the correct. So she was interrogated, basically. And one of the questions, believe it or not, was, do you know about Gilgamesh and aliens? I promise you, this is published everywhere. And again, I created a video about this, like about that. So everything is connected. Evil Israeli and evil Jews with, like, not even from my perspective, but as a fact, at the majority of them, they're following these evil entities because energies of bad and energies of evil do exist in reality, but the earth is purging from it. This planet is purging from it. Now, they're running out of time to really conquer this planet and convert this planet in pure evil. And they know that they already lost. So they're just pushing it to create more and more evil so they can just fit as fast as they can before the planet and us become enlightened. But there is a side within these evil people, like I'm talking again about Israel and evil Judaism, that they are in the delusion that these evil entities will come back. Their God, evil, will come back. And probably they also know that it can be a galactic evil being that will come back. Okay? So they're just feeding this frequency. So this galactic evil comes back, or either because simultaneously they know that they are running out of time to create and feed from evil, so they're just creating more and more, or either because they know that galactic beings will come back, good ones, which are the majority of them, and they'll just explain this mess, and they will just say, you, with your pathetic evil religion, are evil. And you're lying to everyone because God is not what you think it is. God is you. We are God. Consciousness is God. Reality is God. Is the same, the quantum field, the universe. So all that is I am. All that is. And they will just basically like give an explanation for all these misunderstandings and these manipulations created by evil spiritual beliefs and also by ignorant spiritual beliefs. So they know also that that could happen. So they're just like trying to win that, creating more evil. So maybe it will not happen and they will not, like the good ones will not come back here, which are the ones Enki, Ninursak, all the Anunnaki. And Anunnaki is not a race of extraterrestrial beings. Anunnaki means from like outside of this planet. So they are extraterrestrial beings, and they're from different galaxies. They come from different galaxies. They are different. They have different races, and different of them will come here to give us an explanation. The first ones, I believe, will be more similar to us, even though the majority of extraterrestrial beings have 2 arms and 2 legs and a torso and a head. They look similar to us, but like with different features. So now, what is happening then? Basically, connecting the Epic of Gilgamesh with the potential nuclear bombs and wars and Israel attacking Iran and everything that is happening right now is them also in the delusion of thinking that they could become immortal, that they could become superhuman, that they could harness this energy field, this conscious energy field, so they can control everything and everyone. Now, that will not happen, will definitely not happen, because real long immortality, it is only possible with consciousness, So you have to upgrade into the fifth dimension, and you have to become fifth dimensional, basically, because like the last stage of physicality is fifth dimensional awareness in a fourth dimensional body. And when you become fifth dimension consciousness, you cannot be evil, because you are all that is. You are pure love. Now, this doesn't mean that you cannot choose what you don't prefer, because you can. And you will have no problem of killing something or someone. You will have no problem in making a decision and saying this is right, this is wrong, and getting rid of whatever doesn't work for you, even if you're fifth dimensional. Okay? It's just like your body. You love your body, you love everything, but if you have something here, you just put it out. And now it's better, That's it. So, but it is not an action from hate, it is not an action from evil. It is just like a decision for the greatest good. And you're very aware of it. And you do it from the neutrality, the real neutrality, which I believe you can only achieve from the fifth dimension consciousness up. You do it from like that neutrality. Now, I can't wait like for us to become fifth dimensional with the power, with the enough power to eliminate literally with our consciousness whatever doesn't work for us. Now, I don't believe that evil Israelite and evil Jews or any kind of evil people in this planet can achieve the fifth dimension consciousness. Not because they cannot, because they're evil. No, it's just because they are so in the delusion that they are already some kind of like enlightened chosen ones that I don't even think they're gonna try. And if they try and they succeed and they do become no one, which is the secret to become everything in your meditation, then, well, like again, they will become pure consciousness, love, and oneness. They will not just be evil. They will stop being evil. They cannot be evil. It's impossible. So it will work for the greatest good too. Now, Ninursa, I believe that could be the first, that not the first, but the original, I meant the original Virgin Mary. I'm going to say it again. Ninursa, the galactic being, could be the original Virgin Mary, who created Adamu, the first man, like the first successful, like hybrid, like Homo sapiens sapiens, in her, like in her uterus through in vitro, probably using also Enki, her brother. Now, it's possible also that Ninursa also created Gilgamesh, Nimrod, or another version of Ninursa. These people live thousands of years. They could just transfer their consciousness into another body too. So that could be possible too. That wasn't her, but it was another goddess after. Which I do have a list of all the potential goddess that is here. Is Ninursa, Ishtar, for example. Okay, so in Nancy's version, which is an author that analyzes the Epic of Gilgamesh, you can find the very well-known part as the Bull of Heaven, where Ishtar says, "My father gave me the Bull of Heaven to destroy Gilgamesh." Now, it is confusing because Ishtar could be also Ninursa. Now, that's why I say I still do not have, by the time that I'm writing this, a clear understanding of where to place Ishtar because of Sumerian history, more precisely the Epic of Gilgamesh. But I do have a lot of ideas of who can be also as goddess Ninursa, only that I don't know where is it, and this is a new computer, and I really cannot look for things specific. So I have to, well, like, I'll just try one more time. No. Okay, so basically, everything is connected with our potential for superhuman, to become superhuman and immortal. Okay, so everything is connected with why they invaded Iraq looking for the tomb of Gilgamesh, of Nimrod, potentially Nimrod, because he was apparently from the Epic of Gilgamesh an immortal human mixed with the divine, which are galactic beings. We are mixed with galactic beings, but let's say that he was like more pure, and we are less pure because we have like less quantity of that mix. Even so, we can spike it because epigenetics shows that where you put your attention is whatever you become. So, yeah, that's it for this video for today. And I just wanted to create this like awareness that everything that is happening right now, it is related to Gilgamesh, it is related to Ninursa, it is related to immortality. It is related to of superhuman abilities, a potential for superhuman abilities, a fifth dimension consciousness. But it got like lost in translation with the evil Israeli and Jews trying to harness that same power for themselves. So you can become it. You don't need any more information from the Epic of Gilgamesh. You don't need anything from the tomb of Gilgamesh. You can become it by becoming no one to become everything through your meditation. I'm not talking about ego death. No, I'm talking about literally becoming no one. Real enlightenment could get to the point of having a near death awake, where you stop your heart and your brain activity with your mind, you leave your body, become heaven, and come back to your body, and same life. And then you have to self-regulate to sustain your physical fourth-dimensional body so it doesn't disappear into a rainbow body. So you could collaborate in the creation of the next human race. Now, I did have this experience and it was absolutely amazing. It changed me completely. I had no idea about any of this, and I came back to my body writing this book. actually downloading this book within me back on 2020 by the name The Love Becoming, and creating the first manifestation music ever created in the world in mainstream music by the name INMIND Songs by Making Sound Matter. See you inside. And remember, if you want to become anything you want in your life, you have to become it to become it.